Good evening, everybody. This is KC Reginald Jr.
It's your man J-Dub, Justin Waters in the building.
Welcome to UnderDawg Sportz. Welcome back. Y'all know what time it is. Time for us to talk about a bunch of sports. I'm KC Reginald Jr.
What it do, though? It's your man J-Dub, Justin Waters. We in the building, of course.
So it's Friday, and the conference finals have started already tonight, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And
the Eastern Conference ones.
Both these series are tied at 3-1. Does the East end tonight?
I would say so. To keep it honest with you, I really am hoping so. I like to see this if he can make it to the finals. Like I said, they were the fifth seed coming in, least expected, only one superstar on the squad. Hell, why not? Let's see if they can do it.
Yeah, I think the Heat is a better team at this point. Like, I don't think anybody would have said that coming into this series. I think they're just a good basketball team. And I think the finals may be close this year.
And say all that.
I am.
They are going to play a Lakers on a mission. You know, they got a double mission. Not only does LeBron want to seal his legacy as trying to still be the GOAT, which he's not. But remember, this is the Kobe season.
I know.
These dudes is on a mission to go dedicate to Kobe, bro.
I think we said back in March that we guarantee the Lakers win the championship now after Kobe.
You were still saying the Clippers.
I mean, that was the best team. I was still saying the Clippers were the best team. But if anyone believed in conspiracies, there was no chance that the Lakers wasn't going to win a title this year.
You're really going to say conspiracy?
I'm just saying. Look at disasters and championships. Look at disasters.
No, because remember when 9/11 happened, the Diamondbacks won that year, not the New York New York Yankees. When Katrina hit, the Saints didn't even make it to the Super Bowl. It still wasn't 2 years until they made it to the Super Bowl.
Didn't they win in 2009? Wasn't Katrina in 2008?
The Saints?
Yeah.
No, brother. Katrina was 2005. Check your records.
They had something in 8.
They had a conference. They had Ike in 8. That would have been Houston. Hurricane was in 2008.
I might have been here.
That means the Texans should have won the Super Bowl then. No, Katrina was in 2005. The Saints didn't win the championship until 2009. 9/11 happened in 2001. The Yankees did win in 2002. So you can't say disaster happens and championships are automatic. They play inspired. It doesn't mean they win.
Yeah.
So you may want to check that one.
Well, I am going to check it. I'm a little distracted at the moment. But like I said, there's no way the Lakers weren't going to win this series. I'm researching, but I'm also distracted with something else. But there's no way that the Lakers aren't going to win this year. Like,
we need you focused. We live. We can't be exit on this one.
We'll be all right. I can make it work.
You ain't been drinking, have you?
No.
You ain't got a little bit of joy.
Actually, it's behind me. I'm going to drink while we're talking, but I haven't been drinking yet. I'm going to be drinking in order to, but nah, it's whatever. I think Miami can give LeBron James and the Lakers a run for their money, though. They're just a good basketball team, and they really don't have a weakness on their team. Every last one of their players can, at that particular time, carry them on any given night. So you say what you will, and LeBron James being
Tyler Hero. Yeah.
I'm just saying, LeBron James being on a mission, he ain't gonna be playing the Rockets, and I'm just or the Nuggets. He playing a team that's got 5 players that are on the court at all times that can help their team win all the time. There's no Pat Beverly or body out there. There's just a body that can only do one thing.
But the Nuggets have 5 players that can do as much as well. And whether it's Jamal Murray, whether it's Jokic, whether it's Paul Millsap, whether it's Barton, they got a solid squad. They have 5 players. Now, the problem is if Jokic goes down, their bench is not that solid. Miami, they bench is okay, but again, I think they're gonna run into the same problems. Too many people. The Lakers actually had too many people that can play. Also, it's not just a LeBron AD thing. I mean, they got a 3-headed monster and just fouls dealing with McGee and Howard. And for some reason, Dwight Howard is actually trying to play like he was in Houston and get you a solid 15 and 12. He ain't played like that in a long time.
And he always could get 15 and 12. Like, you say he ain't played like that in a long time. It's just that he ain't played for anybody relevant in a long time. And now he's playing for someone relevant again. And we're getting the opportunity to see him do what Dwight has been doing. It's just nobody care when you do it for a losing team. When you do it for the Lakers, then all of a sudden Dwight's coming back. Dwight's Dwight. He may not ever be the 20 and 10 guy again, but he's gonna get you 15 and 10, 15 and 15, 15 and 20 some nights. Like,
but then also look at Rondo. No, I don't see the 15 and 20 anymore. But even look at Rondo. Rondo looking like I won't say championship Celtics Rondo because that was a young Rondo, but he dropping you about 12 and 9 a night, which is pretty good considering the fact Rondo has been on like 4 teams since he left the Celtics.
Playoff Rondo is a real thing. It really is. It's a real thing. It's a legit.
That's a real deal thing.
Yeah, like Rondo. Wow. Like still, like that to me. That means in the season, he ain't trying that hard. Because if playoff Rondo is real, that means he not giving you the effort throughout the year that he could be playoff Rondo every game.
It's like. Well, think about it. It's like Robert Horry. Robert Horry is not regular season. Robert Horry is irrelevant. Big Shot Bob is in the playoffs, and Big Shot Bob is what's scary. Yeah, I mean, you can go ahead. He'll average 4 or 5 points a game regular season. Here come the playoffs. He's making big shots and averaging about 13 to 15 points a game. So it really depends on which person you get. Rondo may just be that new Big Shot Bob type player.
Yeah, I mean, he ain't new. He ain't new by any stretch of the imagination. But
neither was Horry.
I kind of
they was both old hitting stuff.
I kind of get what you're saying, like, but at this stage of his career, he better work on his jump shot. I think you better, because you're not gonna break anyone's ankles anymore. You never really were. You're just a good distributor and all that good stuff. And play great defense and willing to rebound. Like he was a bigger Patrick Beverly to me. I think he's.
Patrick Beverly sometimes gets the other teams riled up even more. Rondo's at least keeping his mouth shut for the most part. Patrick Beverly sometimes likes to bring that smoke, and it sometimes will burn him in the ass too.
Of course, because he's not an offensive player at all.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's not a good offensive player at all. If he don't have a spot up 3, that's it.
That's what I say. He probably gets traded.
So I don't want to write the Nuggets off because they literally lost. They lost one of these games by a miracle fadeaway 3-point shot from Anthony Davis. So it could very easily be 2-2 right now. I don't want to write this team off. It could
I'm not writing it off either, but I'm not calling that a miracle shot either. He's planted.
Bro, it was a fadeaway 3-pointer. It was a lucky shot.
No, Jokic had a fade, and the last game had a fadeaway 3-pointer. Anthony actually set up and shot. It was a hell of a pick.
I'm supposed to be
And
looking
Anthony
something up.
did his best Reggie Miller impression, huh?
Go ahead.
And Reggie did it, and Anthony Davis did his best Reggie Miller impersonation. Got open
I
and
mean, he
made
been
the shot,
working.
but it wasn't a fade. He planted.
He been working on that shot in that spot since he got with LeBron. So I think teams
Yeah,
should
because
kind of
what's
look
LeBron's
for
biggest thing?
is
These shooters.
that one shot
Yeah.
in that one spot. In that spot.
If you're on a LeBron James based team, you need to know how to shoot because LeBron's going to get you open one way or another, give you that ball so you can shoot. If you can't shoot, you're irrelevant to LeBron. Period. You don't even have to play defense. You don't have to go ahead and rebound. You just need to know how to shoot at one point or another. That's just being honest.
Yeah.
That's why when he came back to Cleveland, he was so quick to make sure that Andrew Wiggins was gone because Andrew Wiggins still can't shoot, and he's been in the league for 5 years. But LeBron needs. Other than that, if Andrew Wiggins was a shooter, he would have had a ring as a rookie. Just keeping it real.
Well, he's not a shooter, and some guys never turn into a shooter. Russell Westbrook. That's just who some guys are not. So some guys you just got to accept who they are and let them play their brand of basketball. Now, I mean, at that point, LeBron is at this era's GOAT. We can say that. So if the rookie don't fit, the rookie must be traded. That's really easy.
It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, even right now, I think if a rookie doesn't fit with LeBron, if you want a championship ring, you get rid of him. Even right now, in LeBron's golden years, that's what I would call him. These are his golden years.
If this is his golden years, boy, he playing better than some people in year 2 and 3.
Well,
I'm just saying.
I mean, the real Michael Jordan,
$1 million on his body.
The real Michael Jordan retirement, he was still the best player in basketball after the '98 championship. So,
I mean, that's truth be told. That is true.
I mean,
but
the real
no
Michael
one been
Jordan
at year
retirement.
17. But no one's been at year 17 and playing it the way he does. That's one thing you're going to have to give LeBron. Year 17 and he's still balling like this.
Well,
not even Kareem was doing that in year 17.
Mike didn't want to play that much. You see, he quit every couple
Mike
of years.
Going to year 17.
All right, like if Mike didn't want to play that, but you see, he quit every couple of years after he got to a certain age. Like, let me quit. Let me go back. I need a little money. Yeah, let me go make some money real fast because I got gambling debts. Let me go be like Mike again. We talking about the greatest player to ever play, but like that. Anyway, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver, and the executives have basically acknowledged that next season will not start until next year. But they want a 82-game full season for that season. You think the players are gonna like that? Playing into August again?
Hell no.
Yeah, because that's where they're gonna. It's like, and then this is just gonna be the new basketball season from January to August.
Yeah, I don't see it happening. I don't. There's also you got to factor is if we do have a cure, if things do change, you got the Olympics you'll run right into if the season starts in January and ends in August. But you know the players, your Kawhis, your LeBrons, a couple other ones. They want a shorter season. They want 60 games. So for them to still say we're going to start later and still have 82, I don't see this happening, especially with the CBA coming up. Because I really do think that the CBA is going to change as far as how many games are played in the NBA.
So I got you with the CBA, but you're talking about a league that is finally going to get the revenue back from filling stands. And they're trying to make up for paying these players through this year. Mm-hmm. So I understand why the owners want 82 games because they want to make up for any revenue that they've lost. I think the players might actually have to suck this one up. I mean, to be completely honest and frank with you, like because you want this new CBA to be lucrative, correct? You don't want money taken back, and that's exactly what's going to happen if the owners can tell you that they aren't making money. Then you start losing a little bit of this salary that you've been bumping up year after year after year after year. So I think the players may have to suck it up in 2021 if they're really thinking about the future of the NBA.
So here's the big question. That's if this pandemic thing goes away in what, 4 months? So if it doesn't, then we're back to, it'll have to be multiple bubbles. It can't just be Orlando as a bubble. It'll have to be a couple cities that are going to be as bubbles. So the owners are going to still lose revenue at that.
I'm telling you that these owners are going to have to say, we just not going to play until we can have fans. At some point, they can't keep paying these enormous salaries without that revenue coming in, because it starts getting into their profit margins. So,
see, that's exactly what I was just about to say.
Yeah, something's going to have to give.
They may have to strike out the season, because the fact of the matter is, with no fans and these bubbles and all these accommodations, one, the owners don't want to do all that. Two, that means the players, once again, are back to, no family, no wives, no kids, none of that, or girlfriends, side pieces, baby mama, whatever you want to call it. None of that's going to happen. So basically, it's like playing in a military academy, and I don't think these NBA guys making this much money want to do that.
Right, and
so that's going to be an issue within itself.
And it all is going to really depend on what happens November 3rd.
Indeed,
because if things go left on November 3rd, then I don't see a January start to any season. I see not if they want fans. I definitely won't see that. But if it goes right, and I don't mean correct, I mean to the right of the aisle, then they're going to go right ahead and start filling most of these stadiums. You're going to have the holdouts like L.A.,
Kawhi,
like California and New York, because of those governors. But you already see in places like Florida and hell, even Missouri, you got the governors allowing fans in the stands for these football games. So some of these states are going to push on ahead, and the risk to human life be damned. And we live in one of those states.
Yeah, I actually was still surprised. I honestly thought that they was going to start for Texans games. I thought they were going to do it, but I'm actually pretty shocked and try, because it seemed like our governor didn't give it at any given point. He's going to open up that program. So, yeah, still surprised. I mean, they're having high school football games, and there's actually fans in those stands. They did do it at the big.
Yeah, the show must go on, basically, and that's kind of the mentality of a lot of these states, and it's why 23 states are seeing increases in COVID-19 right now instead of the yellow we had seen on the maps a week ago. Funny how fast these things change, because we push ahead. We're going to skip the Rockets, right? Unless you want to talk about Daryl Morey getting...
No, because
the blessing. No,
I'm tired of talking about Morey. Until the Rockets make a move, we can't really say anything.
Yeah.
So we'll just keep it as is.
But James Harden's in the trade rumors now.
He's in trade rumors.
Yeah, James
They're
Harden.
going to the Sixers.
Yeah, with D'Antoni.
Yeah.
He's in rumors now. Something, but Morey is not going to trade him. We can kill those rumors now, because Morey thinks he's better than Jordan.
Right. I would be the only way that.
And you don't trade Michael Jordan.
Yeah, of course. If Mike gets the job in Philly, the only player that's gone I can see is them doing Russ for Ben Simmons, which I would take.
Russ don't really fit D'Antoni.
Yeah, but we'll see if Ben Simmons does either. Ben Simmons likes to slow the ball down,
but
as a big guard,
he don't mind playing slow. He loves playing with James Harden, and so Harden plays slow.
Harden plays 1-on-1.
Yeah, Harden is the slowest paced player in the NBA, and that's awful to say about somebody that's a guard.
Yeah.
Anyway, how do we end up talking about the Rockets?
Yeah, we'll just keep it as we'll see. They don't seem like they're doing much movement right now, so we'll just keep it as we'll see. Notice.
I have no idea how we really ended up talking about them when we said we weren't going to. Probably the biggest hire in HBCU history happened this week. You want to chime in on that?
Boy, so prime time, the Hall of Famer Deion Sanders is now the official coach of Jackson State University in Jackson, Mississippi. There's never been a big name coach like this ever in college football history. I mean, you always have the late great Eddie Robinson at Grambling, but that's because of his tenure there, almost 5 decades at one school. Deion, there has been rumors, he has not officially said it, that he's gone out to get some of his NFL buddies, Warren Sapp and Terrell Owens, to coach on this team. I just think
Terrell
just the
Owens,
hype alone.
I hope not.
As a wide receiver coach, and
you don't want
Sapp as a lineman coach.
Listen, look.
I really want to hear you to say this one. I don't think it's a bad move.
Talent-wise, no, but you want T.O. in the kid's ear? Mr. doing sit-ups in the parking lot? That's who you want to be developing your players? You really that? I mean, it's great coaching.
I don't think he would be a coach. I think he would just be a face. If Deion's smart, you wouldn't necessarily use T.O. exactly as as your main wide receiver coach, because the wide receiver coach would probably think he's going to be the offensive coordinator and or the head coach, which obviously Deion's the head coach. But to have those names would bring in talent that probably you wouldn't get on a typical HBCU roster. I
mean, absolutely.
I mean, he's already got 4 transfers already set that are coming from the SEC alone. Yeah. That for whatever reason, whether it's playing time or whatever, they're already coming, including 2 guys that were 4-stars.
You call it playing time. I'll call it playing for prime time. You just elevated your platform, especially if you're not on a starter for those SEC schools, or one of those SEC schools is the University of Missouri. Who gives a crap? I get to play for Deion freaking Sanders. He's a Hall of Famer. Like, please.
But even look at it like this also. Deion has a good track record. He was a good high school football coach. Mind you, he's doing high school football and a podcast and NFL Network. He's not dropping his podcast, 21st and Prime. But what I will say is ESPN, Fox, some of these channels, just because it's Deion Sanders, maybe even the NFL Network. Remember, they used to broadcast HBCU games too. We're going to pick up these games. That's TV. That's revenue. But that's also exposure for these kids that wouldn't get the exposure if they're on the bench on Alabama or Missouri or wherever else, or Pitt, what have you.
Well, you are 100% right. And if I'm the kid, in addition to, it's kind of like Arizona State with Herm Edwards a little bit, because out of nowhere, they were on TV all on ESPN all the time because ESPN likes Herm Edwards.
Man,
like it was amazing. Now all of a sudden,
it was like a no-brainer.
Yeah, all the time, Coach Herm Edwards makes his return to coaching, and every other week, Herm Edwards is on ESPN with Arizona State, who was a 500 team. Why? Because it's Herm Edwards and relationships.
No, they went, but they did go to a bowl game.
I mean, they were 500.
Gave them the exposure, but the exposure within itself. So you're right about that. So, I mean, you can't hate the player.
No, absolutely not. And this is why you network. This is why you build relationships. This is why you kind of, play the game. So you can have this exposure to make your triumphant return to coaching, or make your triumphant debut to college coaching. I think this is great for Jackson State. I think it's great for Deion Sanders. I just think it's great for college football, because we're actually going to see HBCU actually be able to recruit and start. Heck, give it a few years. If Deion actually stays there, give it a few years. with the recruiting that he can do
That's
just by name alone.
yeah.
Like, bro, this team could be competing for the playoffs.
Yeah. The only thing that's scary though is everybody hates Florida State's coach right now, who on the side note has COVID, so he won't be on the field. So if this guy doesn't pan out within the next year or two, Dion may be the head
Yeah,
coach
that's
of Florida State.
right.
I
His
hate
his
I hate
alma
for him
mater.
to leave, but that's the business. Yeah,
Well, I mean,
but
but
if Dion at least commits to 4 years at Jackson State, just to get them on the map and get HBCUs in general. Like if I was the commissioner of the the MEAC, not the MEAC, sorry, damn, Dion's in the SWAC. Come to think about it, so he'll be here at TSU and PV. I just thought about that. If I was the head commissioner of the SWAC, I would probably be giving Dion money under the table as well as Jackson giving money to keep him here for at least 4 to 5 years.
no, you ain't even got to do that. You start this tradition now of black athletes going to HBCUs because they can't get jobs in the NFL. Well, you ain't even got to do that. Dion is basically, he's just the gatekeeper. Like, he's opening the door for the trend of these black coaches want jobs, and HBCUs can hire them, and they can recruit off of a lot of things, especially if they're like Hall of Famers or great players. Like, to me, this is a genius move.
I agree. But imagine, see, here's the thing. We forget about how many players went to HBCUs that are NFL Hall of Famers. Imagine the GOAT, the real GOAT, Jerry Rice, going back to his alma mater, Mississippi Valley State. Or Michael Strahan dropping the mic for a second. We know it ain't going to happen. Going to
He
TSU.
ain't going nowhere.
Or, yeah, I'm saying, but imagine that happen. Or either Robert Mathis from the Colts going back to Alabama A&M or Alabama State, if I'm not mistaken.
That's what I'm saying. This Deion Sanders thing, it can really take off, and we can start getting a whole lot more black coaches that it may turn into a revolving door. But for a while, these schools are, I mean, hell, not even for a while, because of the tradition, because of the prestige that just came to these schools because of this. Now you got other athletes that are popular, that can recruit, that can make these schools competitive. And now all of a sudden we have tradition at HBCUs, a new tradition started by this generation's Hall of Famers. It's just amazing that the power that one move can have. And I really hope these players pay attention and do the same thing.
I agree with you. And just on the end on this note, think there's only 6 black college coaches in HBCUs. I mean, not HBCUs, but in Division I football. Out of 113 schools, only 6. So with that being said, Dion can change that trend. Although Jackson State's 1AA, that getting the movement from 1A to 1AA and getting that exposure is definitely going to go ahead and change the NCAA dynamics. They keep sleeping on HBCUs, and this movement may be the reason to wake them up in this case.
Yeah, I definitely think so. But congratulations to Dion, your first head coaching job in college football. Congratulations to the school. I am excited about this opportunity. I hope you do great, so more of us, more of you, Hall of Fame NFL football players that happen to have brown skin can get these opportunities at other schools. So good luck, Dion. We're going to move on to NFL free agency and some surprising names still being on this list. Since he's been cut, Earl Thomas is still a free agent. Let's talk about Earl.
I thought his career is done. I mean, within a 3-month span, you had a scandal. And let's take it further. Within a 6-month span of 2020 and last part of 2019, you had Earl with an injury, you had Earl with a scandal, and now you have Earl fighting his own teammates. I think Earl's done. I think his Hall of Fame years are probably much about looking ahead. I can see him still getting picked up on the team, but probably not getting paid what he wants to get paid, like he probably had in Baltimore. But really surprised because I remember everybody kept saying he's going to be in the Cowboys uniform. And when Jamal Adams didn't get traded to the Cowboys, I was like, I guess they'll pick up Earl Thomas. Earl's still out there.
I'm saying this. Earl is still out there because he got fired from Baltimore. That's all I'm gonna say with that. From Baltimore, like they're the Raiders on the East Coast. That's what I'm gonna say. They will take in every controversial player there is, if they can help them win football games. Again, Ray Lewis was a murderer. Anyway,
Ray Lewis got drafted to him before that, but
and they stood by his side through every bit, knowing that Ray Lewis was a murderer.
Hold up, but you also got to realize Ray Lewis was that dude, murderer or not. So they were going to stick by him. If once the case got beat, they were like, "Well, I'm gonna stick with this guy. He's gonna get paid."
But I'm just saying, Marcus Peters plays in Baltimore. This is Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis is the face of this organization. Okay, and you got fired from Baltimore. How many?
There's another team that takes.
How many players have they fired because of something in the news, other than the running back that beat the woman, Ray Rice? Other than that,
none.
How many players have they fired?
They kept both Lewises.
Yeah.
They kept Jamal and they kept Ray. But that was also a different regime. That was Ozzie and Billy.
But bro,
a different regime.
It's not really. Ozzie's still there. Ozzie's not really gone anywhere.
Ozzie's gone. He retired.
He ain't really gone anywhere.
His last pick was Lamar Jackson.
Yeah,
He retired.
Ozzie's still there. Trust me.
You know. So
ain't no ghost.
Pat Riley thing.
Exactly.
You're doing the Pat Riley like I'm here.
I guarantee you, he's still getting a check, and he's still throwing his ideas out there, and they still listen. Ozzie ain't going nowhere. He just ain't got to travel no more.
I'm gonna say a team that probably would take more worse players that I'm surprised is the team that always cheats to win.
The Patriots. Yeah.
Because think about it, Corey Dillon.
They're not messing with they're not taking them kind of chances in that locker room. Like he's fighting teammates. Like seriously, they're like, come on, he's fighting teammates.
Remember, it's the Patriot way.
Yeah, ain't no Patriot, bro. He's fighting teammates in Baltimore. Like, but you know they have a bad like that locker room is a bunch of personalities. Let's just say that.
I just don't see it. But with Earl being gone, I just surprised. I'm honestly really surprised he's not a Cowboy. He's from Texas. The Texans aren't going to pick him because the Texans don't pick anybody with talent.
And then the Raiders South.
Not on defense.
Look, we got East Coast Raiders. We got a South Raiders. We just need a North Raiders now.
No. The Raiders South is Jacksonville.
No, Dallas. Come on now. Dallas got woman beaters and everything else on that team. Seriously, it's Dallas.
And if you want to go with the Raiders North, you're going to say the Cleveland. No. You're going to say the Cincinnati Bengals.
The Bungles, yep, the Bungles.
Because how long did they stick with Vontaze Burfict when he's killing players left and right on the squad? How many years did they stick with Pac-Man?
Pac-Man Jones.
How long did they stick with Pac-Man until it got too expensive to keep on the roster? No matter how much trouble he's on.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a Raiders West, South, North, and East. We have a Raiders everywhere. Oh, this is great. How did we even start talking about the damn Raiders? Because Earl Thomas, because they didn't pick up Earl Thomas either.
Yeah, and they need safety help too.
Jeez.
Some of the teams that need safeties. Even the Chargers. Lost Derwin James for the season.
Well, the Chargers are not going to pick up Earl Thomas. Hell no. Anthony Lynn runs a tight ship. Anthony Lynn runs a tight ship. He don't play that.
Yeah.
And he got.
But, you're right. Or I got a better team. You can do Raiders South A and B, the Bungles and the Jets. And the Jets ain't pick up Earl Thomas. You know the Jets after a while they was just picking up anybody.
Don't nobody want to play for the Jets.
Yeah.
Nobody want to play for the Jets. Like my new boss.
If you trying to collect a check, you play for anybody.
Even Antonio Brown don't want to play for the Jets, bro.
Shit, then now he do without him.
He'll play for Aldi's, but he won't play for the Jets.
Right. Rapping right. Bro, you go from Pro Bowl, almost Hall of Fame career to rapping.
Bro.
Rapping.
So my new boss
You in the prime of your career and you're rapping.
My new
You're
boss
not a
is a
rapper.
Jets
You're
fan.
not Jay-Z. Huh?
My new boss
Your boss is a Jets fan?
Yeah, my new boss is a Jets fan.
Is he from New York?
Yeah, and he used to actually join call in on a podcast every week back there, because he's really knowledgeable when I listen to it. But it's funny, like he's a Jets fan, and I be trying to throw him a bone. Like last week with all the injuries, I thought that maybe they could have beat the 49ers. Like first play from the Niners, 80-yard run from Mostert.
Now with Frank Gore as your starting running back.
Come on. Father Time himself.
So here's the thing.
Oh, God,
if he's a Jets fan, that means he's a Nets fan and he's a Mets fan. So he ain't ever won a championship because it's usually New Yorkers are the three rhymes. So they're either Yankees, Giants, and
I don't
Knicks
think
fan,
so. I think he a Yankee.
Jets.
I think he a Yankee Jet.
Oh.
I really think he a Yankee Jet.
One more than the other.
I really think he a Yankee Jet.
Most of the New Yorkers I went to school with, they was always the Ets, the Nets, Jets, and Mets. And then I can't stand the Yankees. Why? Because they win. Because the Mets ain't win nothing.
Wait.
The Jets ain't. They was always cusp of something. But
I can't stand the Yankees either. They're the evil empire. Other NFL free agents out there, Cameron Wake. He's a little long in the tooth though. Him and Delaney Walker.
Yeah, well, Cameron Wake is only like 2 years younger than us. He was actually in college when I was in college, so he's not that much younger.
He's a little young, long in the tooth. Like, if a team picks him up, it'll be like week 8. Give him 4 weeks to get in shape, put him on the roster right before the playoffs.
One of our colleagues said he's surprised Demaryius Thomas is out there. I'm like, Demaryius is old. I don't see him being.
He got cut. That's why he's out there.
Yeah, but I don't see him. But think about it, he got traded. Remember last year he got traded to the Jets and then they cut him 2 weeks later. I just don't see him. Demaryius is probably going to be a coach soon. Cameron Wake is a little long. Delaney Walker, I see him getting picked up once the tight end gets hurt or something.
Yeah.
But
it's just some offenses that you just can't plug and play. So I would literally, I could see Delaney Walker coming back at the end of the year for the Titans, but I don't see him having value anywhere else. That's just me. But yeah, I agree with you. Earl Thomas is a little bit of a, why the hell haven't the Bungles picked him up? Why haven't the Cowgirls picked him up? The Raiders. I mean, anybody can use a little secondary help when you're in the same division as Patrick Mahomes.
So
unless you're the Chargers.
I think he's the defensive AB. No one wants him because you don't know what the hell you're going to get in your locker room.
But AB didn't punch anybody in the locker room.
AB ain't got heart like that. Bro.
No, because AB, he's a talker.
Yeah, AB will probably run.
Yeah,
and then probably go ahead and record it and everything to snitch on you.
Well, man, somebody's got that Pittsburgh Steeler animosity towards Antonio Brown.
Nah, that was the Raiders who he recorded the conversation. He was out of our locker room at that point. I'm just saying, as a man, some things need to be remain secret. You conversating with your coach about how he wants you, and you record it to put it on Instagram. Like, shit, what the fuck is that about? But again, he's rapping, so it doesn't really matter.
He's rapping, and he wants to play for the Ravens. The Ravens act like they want him, but, I mean, he's suspended for another 6 games. So
yeah, and then the thing is, they already got one Brown. They got the younger cousin. They don't want him to get the bad influence.
I mean, I promise you, they'll pick him up week 9. I promise you. I can see the Ravens picking him up week 9.
This is the week 3 podcast, and he's saying
as long because just think about it. We haven't heard anything from AB in a while. He's been kind of quiet. He ain't been ruffling any feathers in quite some time since he's been practicing with the Ravens group. I'm just saying, once his suspension is over, no one should be surprised if Lamar Jackson gets a new weapon, and that new weapon is Antonio Brown. Let's move to week 3 though. You breaking up. We're gonna go to the week 3 matchups. Let's start off. I don't know. How's your are you good yet? Dun, 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 dun. No, he's not good yet. So since Justin isn't quite good yet, let's go to this week's Monday night matchup. The Kansas City Chiefs travel to Baltimore to play the Baltimore Ravens. This is a game where people are saying this is a preview of the AFC Championship game. I don't think either one of these teams, although I do believe Baltimore's playing better. One moment, folks. Something happened.